My father told me something when I was a boy that I didn't understand until I was a grown man. Standing in a room full of people who had less experience than me and more opportunity. Son, you have to be twice as good as the next person to be looked at as even. I spent 30 years proving him right and still wasn't enough. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Here's what nobody warns you about getting ahead. You can do everything right. The degrees, the years, the resume that makes people nod across the table, and still watch the door quietly close in front of you. I know because it happened to me. 6 degrees, 20 years in uniform, and a stack of job offers that all said the same soft no. This is the story of what I did about it. And at the end, I'm handing you the one principle that turned my whole career around. When I retired from the Air Force after 20 years, I thought the hard part was behind me. 2 associate's degrees, a bachelor's degree, a master's in information technology, 2 decades of leading people when the pressure was real. I walked into the civilian market expecting the offers to match the work. They came in, every one of them said senior technician. Not one said manager. Now sit in that with me for a second, because it's easy to rush past. I wasn't unemployed. I wasn't unqualified. The offers were real. They were just all one level beneath where I knew I belonged. Twice as good got me looked at. It didn't get me in. And right there, I had a choice that most people get wrong. I could blame the market, tell myself the game was rigged, and honestly, some of it is. Or I could ask the harder question, not what's wrong with them, the question that actually moves a man forward. What's still missing in me? So I went back to work, not the day job. I still had that full time. I mean the other work, the kind nobody claps for. I locked my office door on a Saturday morning and studied for 8 hours. Sunday, 8 more. I did that for 3 years while holding down a full-time job. On the far side of that door were 2 master's degrees, an MBA and a master's in project management. But I'll be honest with you, the degrees were never the thing that was missing, and I knew it. What I was missing was the room. I could lead people, I could not yet command a room. And the hard truth is that the leaders who can't communicate get quietly passed over by the leaders who can. So I joined Toastmasters, a grown man standing up week after week, learning to control my voice, my pauses, my own nerves. Then I did something that still makes me smile. I volunteered to teach a college course. I put myself in front of a classroom on purpose. The first 5 minutes of that first class, my nerves were up. By minute 6, Toastmasters had done its job, and I was teaching. That kind of nervous never fully leaves you. You just grow bigger than it. Here's where it all turned. Some years later, I was named Assistant Federal Security Director over mission support in Hawaii. 6 departments, roughly 120 people, 8 airports, one of the highest positions I'd held since taking off the uniform. The first thing I did was not issue a directive. I asked for 60 days to visit every airport and look my people in the eye, something no one at my level had done before. Then I took everything I had earned behind that office door and in front of those classrooms and brought the real leadership training to my seniors team. Now watch this closely. My boss, the federal security director, and her deputy only planned to drop in, say a few words, and give it their blessing. They ended up sitting through every session, not because I required it, because it was that good. Over the next few years, I expanded the training across all the organization. And over 5 years, my income climbed drastically. I never walked in and demanded a raise. I had simply become undeniable. So here's the principle I promised you, and it's not the one you're expecting. It was never really about being twice as good. My father was right about the effort, but the effort was never the point. The point was that all along, I was preparing for a level I did not yet occupy. Every closed door, every shaky speech, every classroom that scared me, I was getting dressed for a chair no one had offered me yet. That is the whole thing. That is what I built my life on now. And I put it in the 4 words: prepare before you're promoted. Most people run it backwards. They wait for the title, then scramble to deserve it. Getting ready only comes after the call comes. But a promotion doesn't hand you readiness. It reveals whether you already had it. First, the Bible story I ever truly understood was John the Baptist, a man who spent his entire life preparing for a single moment, to prepare the way for Jesus. He wasn't getting ready when the moment arrived. He had already been getting ready his whole life. That never left me. And it's why if you ask me how I'm doing at the gym, at work, at my own dinner table, you'll always get the same answer: excellent and getting better. Because the day I decide I've arrived is the day I stop preparing. And I'm not willing to stop. Now let me turn this around on you. There's a promotion coming for you. A bigger role, a wider platform, an assignment heavier than the one you're carrying right now. It may already have your name written on it. And the only question that matters is the one my father was really asking me all those years ago. When it finally comes, will you be ready or will you be scrambling? The preparation doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens quiet, unglamorous, before a single person is watching. Behind your own office door on a Saturday morning nobody knows about. If that's the leader you're working to become, the one who's ready before the room even knows it needs you, that's exactly the work I do inside of CDHouston Leadership and Development. The link is on your screen and in the description. Come tell me where you're headed, and let's get prepared before you're promoted. My father said you have to be twice as good just to be looked at as even. He was right. But twice as good was never the prize. It was the price of a seat I hadn't earned yet. So pay it early, because the ready don't wait for the door to open. They're already dressed when it does.